Day 9. Adjust, adjust.
맞추다, 조정하다, 적응하다,
Adjustment.
수정, 조절, 적응,
Learning English will help you adjust to life in England. I made a few minor adjustments to the basic design. Accompany, accompany.
누구와 동행하다, 무엇에 수반하여 일어나다,
Children under 10 must be accompanied by an adult. Adventure is always accompanied by risk. Account, account.
계좌, 보고, 설명, 계정, 이유, 계산서, 이유를 밝히다, 설명하다, 원인이 되다, 얼마의 비율을 차지하다,
Accountant.
회계사,
I'd like to open a new account. Can you account for your behavior today? Global warming may account for the rise in ocean temperatures. The election had a record turnout, accounting for over 70% of the population. Accumulate, accumulate.
돈, 재산, 물건 등을 모으다, 축적하다,
Accumulation.
축적, 쌓아올림,
How did he accumulate that much money? Accustomed, accustomed.
익숙해진, 습관이 된,
Accustom.
익숙하게 하다,
You'll soon be accustomed to the new environment. Appoint, appoint.
임명하다, 시간, 장소를 정하다,
Appointment.
회의, 예약 등의 약속, 임명, 지명,
Jack was appointed as the leader of our team. She made an appointment with her hairdresser for next Monday. Approach, approach.
접근하다, 다가가다, 다가오다, 문제 등을 다루다, 접근법, 해결 방법, 접근,
What a chilly wind. Winter must be approaching. We need to find a new approach to the problem. Await, await.
기다리다, 대기하다,
She is anxiously awaiting her exam results. Abandon, abandon.
버리다, 떠나다, 계획, 생각 등을 포기하다,
The poor little kitty was abandoned. I'll never abandon my dreams nor give up hope. Arrogant, arrogant.
거만한, 오만한,
Arrogance.
거만, 오만,
I can't stand his arrogant attitude. Aboard, aboard.
배, 기내, 기차 등에 탑승하여, 배, 열차, 항공기 등의 안에서,
There were already many people aboard the train when it arrived. Abroad, abroad.
외국에, 해외로,
If you go abroad, the experience will open your mind. Alike, alike.
아주 비슷한, 서로 같은, 마찬가지로, 같게,
They don't look alike even though they are sisters. Arise, arise.
문제, 사건 등이 발생하다, 생기다, 잠에서 깨다,
As soon as one problem was settled, another one arose. Arouse, arouse.
감정을 불러일으키다, 잠에서 깨우다,
Her behavior aroused the suspicions of the police. Amaze, amaze.
깜짝 놀라게 하다,
Amazing,
놀라운,
amazement.
놀람.
He was amazed by how smart his dog was. I stared in amazement at your performance. Ashamed, ashamed.
부끄러워하는, 창피한.
You should be ashamed of yourself for lying. Afford, afford.
무엇할 여유가 있다.
Affordable.
감당할 수 있는.
I can afford that bag. We aren't able to afford a new car this year. You can't afford to lose your job. This apartment is the most affordable in this neighborhood. Withdraw, withdraw.
원조, 약속 등을 철회하다. 조직, 학교 등을 그만두다. 예금을 인출하다. 군대 등이 물러나다.
Withdrawal.
철수, 철회, 인출.
I'll withdraw my complaint if you admit you were wrong. I can withdraw a maximum of $1,000 at a time. The withdrawal of forces. Withhold, withhold.
꼭 쥐고 주지 않다. 유보하다.
The company is withholding the workers' pay. Withstand, withstand.
저항하다. 견디다.
Though the general ordered his army to resist, they couldn't withstand the enemy attack. Geography, geography.
지리학, 특정 지역의 지리.
Geographical.
지리학의, 지리적인.
I purchased a world map to study geography. Geology, geology.
지질학, 어떤 지역의 지질학적 특징, 지질.
Interested in rocks, I decided to major in geology. Geometry, geometry.
기하학,
You need geometry to measure the distance to nearby stars. Day 10. Contrary, contrary.
반대의, 반대되는 것.
I guess you don't have anything to do. On the contrary, I have piles of work. The actual result of the research was contrary to what he expected. Contrast, contrast.
대조, 대비.
Contrast, contrast.
대조하다. 대조를 이루다.
By contrast, many present-day stories have a less definitive ending. In this book, the writer contrasts Europe with America. Controversy, controversy.
논쟁, 언쟁, 논란.
Controversial.
논란의 여지가 있는. 논쟁의.
A heated controversy over educational policies. I didn't realize the decision would be so controversial. Counterattack, counterattack.
반격, 역습. 반격하다, 역습하다.
Our army attacked the enemy first, and then they counterattacked. Counterfeit, counterfeit.
위조의, 가짜의. 위조하다.
Someone passed me a counterfeit $20 bill. The counterfeiting of documents is a serious crime. Counterpart, counterpart.
대응하는 사람. 상대방.
A meeting was scheduled between the Korean president and his Japanese counterpart. Monologue, monologue.
혼자서만 하는 긴 이야기. 독백.
I especially liked her closing monologue. Union, union.
조합, 단체, 결합, 연합.
The labor union held a vote to decide whether they should go on strike. A trade union. The European Union. Unique, unique.
보통이 아닌, 특별한, 유일무이한, 특유의.
The artist has a unique style of drawing. Each product has its own unique code number. Unify, unify.
통일하다, 통합하다.
Unification.
통일, 통합.
Genghis Khan unified the Mongol tribes in 1206. Unite, unite.
결합하다, 연합하다.
Unity.
통합, 통일, 통일성.
One founder of a famous social media company believed social media would unite us. A common language builds a sense of unity. Unit, unit.
구성 단위, 측정 단위. 단일체, 부문, 부.
A monetary unit. We completed the first unit of our textbook today. An intensive care unit. Universe, universe.
우주, 만물. 전 세계,
Universal,
전 세계의, 보편적인.
university.
대학교.
How the universe was created is still a mystery. Universal standards. Bilingual, bilingual.
2개 국어를 구사할 수 있는. 2개 국어 구사자.
She is bilingual in English and Spanish. A bilingual dictionary. Balance, balance.
균형, 평형, 잔고, 잔액. 균형을 잡다. 상쇄하다. 견주어 보다.
Balance between work and leisure. The balance in your account is 1.4 million won. How did the sculptor balance that large plane on top of the ball? Duplicate, duplicate.
복사하다. 복제하다.
Duplicate, duplicate.
복사의. 복제의.
Duplicate, duplicate.
복사본. 복제품.
Duplication.
복사. 복제. 이중.
You can delete the information that was accidentally duplicated. Twilight, twilight.
황혼. 땅거미. 황혼기.
I saw a dark figure moving in the twilight. The twilight of life. Twist, twist.
비틀기. 꼬임. 굴곡. 꼬다. 비틀다. 몸을 틀다. 왜곡하다.
She twisted the thread around her finger. He always twists the facts. Triangle, triangle.
삼각형. 트라이앵글. 삼각관계.
Triangular.
삼각형의. 삼자간의.
A love triangle. Sharks have a triangular fin on their back. Tribe, tribe.
부족. 종족.
How many different Native American tribes are there in North America? Trivial, trivial.
사소한. 하찮은.
You'd better apologize to him, as that wasn't a trivial mistake.
그 외에 숫자 접두사.
Hemisphere.
지구, 하늘, 뇌의 반구.
Semi-annual.
연 2회의, 반년의.
semi-final,
준결승,
quadrangle,
사각형,
quarter,
4분의 1, 15분, 25센트,
quartet,
사중주, 사중창,
pentagon,
오각형, 미 국방성,
pentathlon,
오종 경기,
hexagon,
육각형,
September,
9월,
October,
10월,
octopus,
문어,
November,
11월,
decade,
10년,
December,
12월,
decimal,
소수, 십진법의, 소수의,
centigrade,
섭씨,
centimeter,
센티미터,
century,
1세기, 100년,
kilometer,
킬로미터,
million,
100만, 다수, 무수, 100만의, 다수의,
millionaire,
백만장자,
day 11, interviewer, interviewer,
면접관, 인터뷰 진행자,
a good interviewer prepares his or her questions in advance. Interviewee, interviewee,
면접, 인터뷰 대상자,
the interviewee refused to answer a few questions. Inventor, inventor,
발명가,
invention,
발명품,
inventive.
창의력이 있는, 독창적인,
He is the inventor of a new cooking appliance. Painkillers are a relatively recent invention. Supervisor, supervisor,
감독관, 관리자,
supervision.
감독, 관리,
There will be 2 supervisors per exam room. Assistant, assistant,
보조자, 조수, 보조의,
assistants.
보조, 도움,
The assistant director helped him film the scene. Attendant, attendant,
시중 드는 사람, 수행원,
attention,
주목, 주의, 관심, 시중,
attentive.
주의 깊은, 세심한,
The flight attendant started to serve lunch to the passengers. I was satisfied with the hotel service and the attentive staff. Servant, servant,
하인, 고용인,
service.
서비스, 봉사,
He was seen as an upright public servant. Resident, resident,
거주자, 거주하는, 살고 있는,
residential,
주택가의, 거주지의,
residence.
거처, 거주,
All of the building's residents paid their rent last month. Journalist, journalist,
언론인, 기자,
journalism.
저널리즘, 기사보도, 언론계,
The news cycle, and thus the work of a journalist, is never ending. Psychologist, psychologist,
심리학자,
psychological,
심리적인, 심리학의,
Psychologists help people with mental or emotional issues. Relative, relative.
친척, 인척, 상대적인,
We discovered that we were distant relatives. Representative, representative.
대표자, 대리인, 대표하는,
Representation,
표시, 표현, 대리, 대표,
a representative of the UN. Boundary, boundary.
경계선,
It is important to establish clear boundaries for children. Secretary, secretary.
비서,
The manager hired a new secretary. Missionary, missionary.
선교사, 전도사, 전도의,
He spent 5 years as a missionary in Africa. Economics, economics.
경제학,
Economist.
경제학자,
The field of economics focuses on how goods are bought and sold. Politics, politics.
정치, 정치학,
Politician.
정치인,
The lawmaker has degrees in politics and law. Physics, physics.
물리학,
Physicist.
물리학자,
The laws of physics explain how the universe works. The physicist assumes that the physical world is lawful. Appearance, appearance.
외모, 등장, 출현,
The man changed his appearance by dyeing his hair. Conference, conference.
회담, 회의, 협의회,
That matter will be discussed at the conference tomorrow. Variety, variety.
다양성, 다양함,
Various.
다양한, 가지각색의,
Their website has a variety of products to choose from. Nowadays, people can communicate in various ways. Ability, ability.
할 수 있음, 능력,
Able.
무엇 할 수 있는, 유능한,
Not every species of bird has the ability to fly. Authority, authority.
권한, 권위,
Authoritative.
권위적인,
Authorize.
권한을 주다,
Authorized.
권한을 받은, 인정받은,
The doctor spoke with authority on the disease. Only authorized members can have access to the room. Discovery, discovery.
발견,
Their discovery of the molecular structure of DNA won them the Nobel Prize. Theory, theory.
이론, 학설,
Theorize,
이론으로 만들다,
theoretical.
이론상의,
Theorist.
이론가,
Many theories in physics are still being debated. Melissa combined her theoretical knowledge with her practical skills. Surgery, surgery.
수술,
I grew anxious because the time for surgery was drawing closer. Arrival, arrival.
도착,
The hotel prepared for the arrival of its guests. Proposal, proposal.
제안, 청혼,
The company will consider the proposal we sent. Creature, creature.
생물, 창조물,
Hundreds of creatures can live in a drop of water. failure, failure.
실패, 실패자.
Her business was a failure, but she plans to try again someday. Agreement, agreement.
협정, 동의.
Everyone was in agreement with the plan. Assessment, assessment.
평가, 판단, 평가액.
A precise assessment of the situation will have to wait until the inspector arrives. Document, document.
서류, 문서, 기록하다.
Documentary,
다큐멘터리, 기록물.
documentation.
기록, 문서화.
Can you print off 2 copies of this document for me? A social scientist's job is to document people's behavior. Pollution, pollution.
오염, 공해.
Pollutant.
오염물질.
Air pollution has become a much more serious concern in recent years. Translation, translation.
번역, 통역, 해석.
Translator.
번역가, 통역사.
Some of the translation does not correspond to the original passage. Introduction, introduction.
소개, 도입.
Each student made a brief introduction at the start of class. Invitation, invitation.
초대.
The wedding invitations were sent out around the beginning of March. Wealth, wealth.
부, 재산, 풍부함.
Wealthy.
부유한.
The easiest way to build up wealth is to invest wisely. Janet didn't need to work since she came from a wealthy family. Weight, weight.
무게, 체중.
Overweight,
과체중인.
lightweight,
가벼운.
outweigh.
무엇보다 뛰어나다. 중요하다.
The weight of the ball was enough to break the window. People who aren't active are usually more overweight. Witness, witness.
목격자, 증인. 목격하다. 증언하다.
When there are multiple witnesses to an event, they are not allowed to discuss it before giving their testimony. We are now witnessing a fundamental shift in our resource demands. Fitness, fitness.
건강, 적절함.
Fit.
건강한, 적절한. 어디에 알맞다, 어울리다.
There are lots of gym programs to improve your fitness. Accuracy, accuracy.
정확성, 정밀도.
Accurate.
정확한, 정밀한.
The accuracy of that information is doubtful. Privacy, privacy.
사생활.
They wanted privacy, so they closed the office door. Citizenship, citizenship.
시민권. 시민으로서의 신분.
She acquired citizenship in the United States. Leadership, leadership.
통솔력. 지도력.
If the team had had better leadership, their project would have been a success. Childhood, childhood.
유년기.
Jane has many memories of her childhood. Neighborhood, neighborhood.
근처. 이웃.
There are many flower shops in this neighborhood. Realism, realism.
현실주의. 사실성.
Reality,
현실.
realistic,
현실적인,
realize.
깨닫다, 실현하다.
The realism of this painting makes it resemble a photograph. Optimism, optimism,
낙관론, 낙천주의,
optimist.
낙관론자, 낙천주의자.
The news gave us optimism about our plan. Criticism, criticism,
비판, 비평,
critic,
비평가, 평론가,
critical,
비판적인, 중대한, 비평의.
The government is facing increasing criticism for its actions. Target, target,
목표, 대상, 목표로 삼다.
The company's target is to reach $300 million in sales by 2025. This charity targets the youngest and poorest children from every nation. Booklet, booklet.
소책자,
There is an instruction booklet in the cabinet. Leaflet, leaflet.
광고용 전단,
An old man handed out leaflets to people. Etiquette, etiquette.
예의, 에티켓.
Good etiquette is very important when interacting with strangers. Angle, angle.
각도, 관점. 노리다,
Angular.
각이진, 모난.
The angle of the hill determines how fast your bicycle will go. The medieval castle was very tall and angular. Label, label.
라벨, 표. 라벨을 붙이다.
Labeled.
표를 붙인, 분류한.
The label says dry clean only. She labeled each of the files in her cabinet drawer. Day 12. Childish, childish.
유치한,
Although she is childish, she has a brilliant mind. Childlike, childlike.
천진난만한.
The man had a childlike innocence. Comparable, comparable.
비교될 만한. 비슷한.
The two machines are comparable in price. Comparative, comparative.
비교의. 비교적인. 상대적인.
Comparatively.
비교적.
The comparative comfort of a new car model. Considerable, considerable.
양, 정도 등이 상당한. 많은.
Considerably.
꽤. 상당히.
The job required considerable effort. Considerate, considerate.
사려 깊은. 배려하는.
Consideration.
숙고. 고려. 배려.
He was an honest and considerate person. Continual, continual.
반복되는. 끊임없는.
Continually.
계속해서.
She disliked dealing with the continual complaints of customers. Continuous, continuous.
끊임없는. 계속적인.
Continuously.
끊임없이. 계속.
The continuous efforts of the rescue workers saved many lives. economic, economic.
경제의, 경제학의.
The economic crisis caused many problems. Economical, economical.
절약이 되는, 경제적인.
Small cars are generally very economical. Historic, historic.
역사적으로 중요한.
The Army's victory was a historic moment. Historical, historical.
역사의, 역사상의.
The museum has many historical documents. Intellectual, intellectual.
지적인, 지성의.
He was driven by an abundance of intellectual curiosity. Intelligent, intelligent.
영리한, 총명한.
Intelligence.
지능, 지성, 이해력.
You must be intelligent to understand the professor's lectures. Respectable, respectable.
존경할 만한, 훌륭한.
He is a respectable man admired by many. Respectful, respectful.
존경하는, 존중하는.
There was a respectful silence when the king entered the room. Sensible, sensible.
분별 있는, 현명한.
It isn't sensible to try to finish all this work today. Sensitive, sensitive.
섬세한, 민감한, 예민한.
Sensitivity.
섬세함, 감수성, 민감성.
Are your eyes sensitive to bright lights? Social, social.
사회의, 사회적인.
The country suffers from many social problems. Sociable, sociable.
사교적인, 부침성 있는.
If Donna were more sociable, she would have more friends. Successful, successful.
성공적인, 출세한.
Successfully.
성공적으로.
The book was so successful that it was turned into a movie. Successive, successive.
연속적인.
It snowed for 3 successive days. Literal, literal.
글자 그대로의.
Literally.
글자 그대로.
There is no wall around the city in the literal sense. Literary, literary.
문학의, 문예의.
Literary works include novels and plays. Literate, literate.
읽고 쓸 줄 아는.
Literacy.
읽고 쓰는 능력.
Thanks to the education system, most of the nation's population is literate. Imaginable, imaginable.
상상할 수 있는.
The farmer's market sells every type of vegetable imaginable. Imaginative, imaginative.
상상력이 풍부한, 창의적인.
Imaginative children can make up entire worlds in their minds. Imaginary, imaginary.
상상 속에 존재하는, 가상의.
Dragons are imaginary creatures. Regretful, regretful.
후회하는, 유감스러워하는.
Chris let out a regretful sigh when he realized he had made a mistake. Regrettable, regrettable.
상황, 사건이 유감스러운.
It was regrettable that he had come all this way and forgotten his wallet. Industrial, industrial.
산업의, 산업이 발달한.
It is an industrial city with many factories. Industrious, industrious.
근면한,
Ants are considered industrious since they never stop working. Favorable, favorable.
호의적인, 찬성하는,
The judge seems favorable toward the respondent's case. Reliable, reliable.
의지할 수 있는, 믿을 만한,
It may be high-priced, but it is reliable. Visible, visible.
눈에 보이는, 뚜렷한,
Visual.
시각의, 눈으로 보는,
Although the driver had no visible injuries after the accident, he went to see a doctor. Eleanor is a visual learner, so having the charts is helpful to her. Hopeful, hopeful.
희망에 찬, 기대하는,
He is hopeful that he will be on time. Doubtful, doubtful.
의심스러운, 확신이 없는,
Doubtfully,
의심스럽게,
doubtfulness.
의심스러움, 불확실함,
The doctor says it's doubtful Anna will recover the full use of her left arm. I guess we could try, he said doubtfully. Forceful, forceful.
사람, 말 등이 강력한, 힘이 있는,
Effective leaders speak in a forceful voice. Basic, basic.
기초적인, 기본적인,
Basically,
본질적으로, 본래,
a guide to the basic rules of chess. Characteristic, characteristic.
특징적인, 독특한, 특징,
Character,
성격, 특성, 등장인물,
characteristically.
특징적으로,
Characterize.
특징 짓다,
The triangular sails are the most characteristic feature of ships built at that time. The character of an individual changes over time. Typical, typical.
전형적인,
Please give me a typical example. Familiar, familiar.
친근한,
My sister is familiar with Russian culture. Peculiar, peculiar.
기이한, 독특한,
Alice in Wonderland is a very peculiar story indeed. Supplementary, supplementary.
보충의,
This textbook has a supplementary workbook. Satisfactory, satisfactory.
충분한, 만족스러운,
Satisfaction.
만족,
It was hard to get satisfactory sleep on the train.